Hey everyone, and welcome to the Week 15 League Manager's Note. Before we get started, I do want to pay tribute to one of the greatest players of all time that we lost today, Kobe Bryant. He will definitely be missed, he and his daughter, and everybody else that was impacted from that helicopter crash. Definitely one of the most memorable, sports person's deaths in my lifetime, and it's only been a day. I don't even know that I've fully digested it yet. Joel, any thoughts?
I hated Kobe the entire time I watched him play, but he was unbelievable. This is tragic. Really, really sad. I told my wife today, I spent just a ton of time thinking about it. And it's honestly way more than I anticipated, but it's crazy. You never expect these kind of things.
Yeah, we were talking, and, he was only 14 years older than I am. And he had his 9-year-old daughter, and it's just one of those things, especially where I'm at in my life, getting to the point where we're thinking about a family, at least in the semi-near future. And life is just so fleeting, man, and I just encourage everyone to just remember that and to live life and enjoy it. And definitely my condolences and thoughts out to Kobe's family and, like I said, everybody impacted by this event. You know what I mean? It's crazy. A helicopter crash. Nuts.
Yeah, who would have thought?
That being said, we'll get into just this week. I don't even know where to start with this week, if I'm honest. But as always, we'll start off with the champs matchup. Matt Hobert ends up winning on a stupid decision by Simmons. I'm not afraid to say it. I have no idea what he was thinking playing Zion. Quite frankly, I wouldn't have played anybody. I know field goal percentage was a scare, but he already had turnovers in the bag, and that field goal leap was going to take a bunch of made baskets. If I were him, and I said it to you last night, so I want you to confirm that, I said I wouldn't play anybody, and that would have ended up working. Outside of that, congratulations to Matt. This was an absolutely huge win for Matt Hobert. He's going to have to mess up a lot to not get into the playoffs.
Yeah. Simmons just kind of risked it all
on Zion.
For reasons we're not sure. And it paid off in Matt's favor. The false champ will most likely be seeing the playoffs.
Yep. Free throw percentage went down 5% for Simmons just because he played Zion. I just don't understand. Somebody's going to have to explain it to me. I just don't know why you risk it when you have the biscuit, if you will. You already have the biscuit. What are you doing? I don't know, man. He risked his trading Steph for Zion. He put Zion out there. Zion's been great. He's been nice and explosive, but he doesn't need to play every single day he's playing. I mean, that's
sometimes the way to win is to sit people.
Right. Simmons moves to 6-8. He's tied with Adam, and also 6-8. Matt is 7-7. We're moving on to another upset, one way more impactful for the league. We've got Steven losing to Eric at home. I cannot believe what we witnessed in this matchup today. Joel Gibson.
5-5-1.
5-5. It started out this morning, 7-4, I think Eric started this morning. And then it moves to 6-5 right after the 6 o'clock games. And Eric can sit Whiteside and win. All he has to do is just sit Whiteside. He wins the game. No big deal. However, he decides to trot Whiteside out there, and he needs some blocks, So Whiteside decides to give him 6. He gives him 6 blocks for the win. Steven loses here. I don't even know what to say. Shout out to Eric. His 4 wins this year have been Simmons, Cody, Steven, and Kyle. Those are 3 quality-ass wins, not Kyle. And all of it was for no reason. All of it, he's just bullying people. I am terrified to play Eric right now for no reason.
The crazy part is if Eric had just played Kawhi on Tuesday, who had 2 blocks that game, this whole thing would have been for nothing.
Yeah.
He also made, 11 of 12 free throws that night.
Yep.
He could have had this locked up early. Also, Kawhi got his first career triple-double, and that was pretty big. And some not great news for Steven is James Harden seems to be hurting.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know if it's his hip, if it's his knee. You're getting a bunch of reports. He's already doubtful for Monday. All Steven could be hoping is that he's going to get right for playoffs. That first round, though, if I'm Steven, I'm a little nervous. It's over the All-Star break. It's that extended 17 days matchup, that first round. And you definitely don't want your star player injured. I'll say that.
Yeah, you don't want your Harden injured.
Exactly.
Take it from a guy who's had Harden. When you have him, you need him to be operating full functionality.
Absolutely. Steven moves to 10-4. Eric to 4-10. So shout out to Eric for his semi-impressive wins. I mean, you can't really say they're not impressive, you know?
They happened.
They certainly happened. With that, we'll move on. We've got your matchup, sir. Joel Gibson beating Cody. Now, assists got close there towards the end, and field goal percentage, I was watching him creep up, and I'm like, I wonder if Joel's even watching this happen. Because at the end there, Cody gave you a little scare, but at the end of the day, you win, sir.
Yeah, on the back of 3 triple-doubles, I'm wearing my Jokic jersey, you know? He got 2, he's looking prime time right now. He's looking fantastic. Shabazz Napier, shout out to that guy with his first career TD. Just great. Really good stuff. I really needed to beat Cody this week. I now think I have, 6 straight wins? This is pretty huge.
Yeah, this is... You can say it's huge. You can definitely say it's huge. With this, you tie Cody, I believe, in head-to-head matchup. You tie him in conference record. He does have more points than you, so he does remain that 1 game ahead of you or above you in the rankings. Not necessarily a full game, more just points. Man, it has been a bummer for Cody these last few weeks. He was a powerhouse. Like just a month ago, we were talking a whole different story. Hopefully he gets healthy. We'll see how it goes. These last 2 weeks are certainly interesting. Outside of that, we can move on. Congratulations to you for the win, and Cody, better.
Yeah, I did it without Paul George, by the way.
I saw that. Yeah, you did it without Paul George. That's all right. I think Kyrie's about to fall off the side of the earth at some point. Like, it's coming. I'm really nervous about that, so just be looking out.
His 45 points the other night did not have me worried, let me tell you that.
I bet. Next matchup we've got is another close matchup, or at least another close record matchup. Adam at Doug. Doug puts up 900 plus points this week in a single week. Absolutely insane. I can't remember the last time I've seen anywhere close to the 9 number. So he gives Adam the loss here, and he moves to 7-7. He has the tiebreaker with Matt. So Doug, stamp that ticket to the playoffs, big fella. Well done.
Yeah. Adam is just kind of falling apart. Some of his guys are, for one thing, Malcolm Brogdon not being healthy is just really, really knocked him down. And Miles Turner, take it from a guy that had Miles Turner earlier this year, he's a disappointment.
he's definitely been a disappointment, and the road does not get easier for Adam. I'll say that.
No, it don't.
Moving on here, we've got CJ beating Neiman. Siakam's been pretty good, I guess, for Neiman. He's not making it to the playoffs. I do want to say one thing, and I didn't air this on the messenger, but it's been reported a bunch of times, and I've been hearing this. Jimmy Butler should have been named an Eastern starter over Siakam on the Eastern team. I'm very upset about this. Everybody from Miami is very upset about this. I do not understand, with Siakam being so injured, how he got the starter spot, but okay.
Yeah, I can see your argument for that. Siakam, he was pretty good to start the year, but Jimmy Butler's played more games.
Yeah, for sure, and has put up better numbers, at least as far as all-around game. Yeah, it's a bummer. Man, I might even make an argument for Bam over Siakam, given the number of games that Siakam has played. I wasn't happy with that, but I just wanted to throw that out there. Just my little homer, he's on my team. I got to stick up for my boy. He rolled his ankle twice last game. We are still waiting on diagnosis. I'm very nervous about that. Good thing I've already locked up the number 1 seed. That's totally fine. Let him take some games off. We're fine. And speaking of me, the last matchup here, congratulations for CJ, moving to 9-5, Neiman to 4-10. I moved to 13-1 after I beat Kyle. There was never any question. Kyle moves to 2-12 and has guaranteed that he finishes last in the league this year. Or at least is the 12 seed going into the playoffs. We'll see if he's stupid in the playoffs. But I think he might get that cursed 12. Still hasn't been drawn. This will be our, 7th year or 6th year, something like that.
Yeah.
But I think we've only been doing the actual draft for about 4 of those. So this might be the 5th year where 12 doesn't get picked for the 1 seed. Could you imagine?
Oh, man. All those ugly losses for nothing. That'd be great.
For nothing. Absolutely. Yeah, well, with that being said, that is week 14. We have 2 weeks left and a lot of playoff spots still available. Moving into next week, we'll start with the champs matchup as always. You've got Matt, the home team, against Doug. I have Doug at the 6 right now because he currently has the tiebreaker with Matt. Matt is at the 7, and they are both 7-7. Doug is scoring a fuck ton of points. An absolute fuck ton. I like Matt next week, though. I was looking at their scores side by side, and I like Matt just to get 5 categories. Now, if Doug pulls a triple-double into play, that's certainly something that's interesting. But right now, I think Matt's categories, field goal percentage, rebounds, blocks, turnovers, and double-doubles, I believe, were the 5 that I pulled out last night when we were talking. So I'm going to go with Matt. I'm going to go with my gut and pick Matt here.
Oh, man, this is a really tough one. Both of them are relatively healthy. Both Aldridge and DeRozan have been playing really well. But Dame Lillard and Hassan White, or Dame Lillard's been out of his mind. I'm going to go with Doug, but I don't feel great about it.
You just love picking against the false champ.
I do.
Moving on, we've got my matchup. I'm away at Steven. I'm the 1 seed. I've guaranteed the best record this year. These next 2 weeks mean nothing to me. I will not add a player unless Bagley or somebody on my team is designated as out and I fill that empty roster spot. I will promise you that. So, Steven, if you really want this matchup, you can go at it, but I put up a hell of a line this week, and you don't have Harden. Question marks? Is it worth the free agent dollars? we'll see what it means to Steven this week. I'm picking myself.
With Pardon in question, it's got to go your way this week.
I like it. I like it a lot. Defensively, just everything. My team's just really coming together. It's pretty. Moving on, we've got kind of a snooze fest here. CJ at Kyle. This is interesting only in the fact that if CJ wins this, he puts some pressure on Steven for that 3 spot and kind of makes the last week that Steven plays Cody extremely important. So just remember that, Steven. If you do cycle this week and lose, then you're going to have to cycle again next week. More money out the window. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, and I know you don't watch this video, but you get hard-hitting facts on this video. I'm picking CJ.
Yeah, I too am picking CJ, but that's interesting. I hadn't considered that little rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Like, he could
right on his tail.
Yeah, CJ is right on his tail, and it could turn into 2 weeks of him. And man, if Cody needs to win too, who's willing to cycle, could be a little money hole here at the end for Steven. So I'm very interested to see how he's going to play it. Honestly, I am. Next matchup before we get into the last 2 most interesting ones is Eric at Neiman. Neiman has beaten Eric, so I don't know. Eric's hot right now. If he's trying to like, the craziest thing is, let me lay out a scenario for you right now. This is semi-interesting.
All right, I'm ready.
So if Eric wins his last 2 weeks, okay? He plays Neiman this week, and then he plays Adam the last week.
Okay.
And Simmons loses to both Cody and Kyle. There is a 3-way tie, including Eric Lopez, for the 8th spot. I shit you not. There is a 3-way tie where he is in consideration. He has the tiebreaker with Simmons, and he would have the tiebreaker with Adam if he in fact beats Adam the last week. I am not kidding you. I wanted to save that. I didn't mention that to you earlier before we started the video, but I've just been digging, dude. It is absolutely insane that Eric just might get in. Just might get in.
This might be a better comeback than mine.
I don't even know what to say about it. I really don't. Oh my gosh.
Eric, go for it. Go all in.
I'm just like trying to see how, because Adam beat Eric the first time around, right? So him getting the win against Adam at the end is necessary, has to happen. Tie. We have one from the East and one from the West. Okay?
Okay.
I'm not sure how conference records are going to come into play here. Because theoretically, Eric only has 2 conference wins, but he plays Neiman next week to get his 3rd conference win, which is the same that Adam would have, and it would go to points between Adam and Eric. I do not understand how, but there is a possibility that Eric gets in.
That is nuts.
It's very small, but there is a possibility.
I'm following my heart. Eric, go for it.
Eric, go for it so hard. You can do it, buddy. I'm going to pick Eric this week. Why not? Let's just jump on the bandwagon. If Eric can win this week and somehow beat Adam, he's got to score a ton of points. Eric's been pretty injured. He hasn't. The craziest part is how many games this year did Eric miss because he didn't set his lineups? We could be talking about a completely different set of circumstances if Eric would set his lineups. So I hope he gets right to the end and it doesn't work for him because he misses out on points.
That would be fantastic.
Man, as if we could get any more exciting. Let's get these last two matchups here. First one is Adam against Joel. At Joel. Joel right now is at the 5 spot. That's because Cody has more points than he does. And Joel is rolling. And I see no reason that he doesn't continue to roll and beat Adam this week.
Yep, I'm picking myself. We are just crushing it right now. Whether Paul George is back this week or not, I don't think it entirely matters. I think we're going to roll right through Adam.
Yeah, me too. Adam's currently at the 8th spot right now. And that's because he has a 1-game divisional lead on Simmons. 1 game. So this week's pretty big for not only Adam, but our next matchup, Simmons at Cody. Now, this one's big because if Simmons wins, obviously he gets that 3rd conference matchup against Adam. It goes to points, and Simmons actually has about 150 more points than Adam right now. But if Simmons loses here and Cody wins, it becomes extremely unlikely that Simmons makes it in. Extremely unlikely. He would have to have a better record than both Eric, who has the tiebreaker with him, and Adam, who has a better conference record than him. So the only way Simmons has a prayer is to win this week against the number 2 seed, who you want to lose so you can move into that 2 spot. So definitely watching the East as we've been doing these last few matchups. Doug at Matt, Simmons at Cody, Adam at Joel. I'm going to pick Cody at home versus Simmons. I don't know if Embiid's coming back. That would be extremely helpful. Simmons lost Marky Mark, Lauri Markkanen this week for the rest of the season, essentially. I don't know that Simmons can put together the pieces needed in a game against Cody, who, if he wants to keep that 2 seed, has to win as well.
I'm looking right now because I feel so unsure about this. It says that Embiid went through a full practice with contact on Friday, so that sounds promising.
It does sound promising, but they also gave another one when they interviewed him and they were talking about him shooting more. They're worried like another week at least. So it might not be as close as they thought. I think that was after the report that you read about the practice. But
Okay.
I'm not sure, but I think he's out at least this week, in the week that he's needed most.
Okay, yeah, if he doesn't have Embiid, I have to pick Cody. I don't want to, but if he doesn't have Embiid, it's just too close.
Simmons versus Cody, or Steven versus Cody, the last week of the year is going to be so good. I'm so looking forward to it. I love it. I love it. So much riding on that game. Not only the 2 seed, the 3 seed, the 4 seed, and the 5 seed will essentially all come down to that game next week.
Oh,
It's insane. I don't even know what to do. I'm like giddy with anticipation for this week and next week. The way that these games have fallen, absolutely nuts.
Man, I want that 2 seed bad. Tell you what.
Still won't help you against me. The best record this year.
That's
favorite.
all right.
The favorite. Everybody, we're going in. The people's champ. Hashtag the favorite. Hashtag Buzzsaw will get ya.
Well, I'm the underdog. I'm here to fuck you up.
I think the unanimous underdog. If you pull And I'll say that right on this video. If you somehow pull a 2 seed and don't win the underdog, it is literally just a smear campaign against you. There is no way. There is no way unless, well, if Eric ends up getting the 8, I promise you, I'm picking Eric for the underdog. So I take that back. If Eric gets the 8, I promise you I am taking Eric as the underdog. But outside of that, it's you hands down.
It's somehow less and more impressive at the same time if he pulls it off.
The teams that he has had to beat to even get into that position. Cody, Simmons, Steven. That's 3 of his 4 wins. And then he has to win against Neiman this week. He has to close out against Adam next week. And then he has to pray that Simmons loses to Kyle. Simmons has to lose to Kyle.
Yeah, that's not likely.
Oh, man. Likely not, but I'm just telling you, if he gets there, I don't even know what to say anymore. Remember to set your lineups next year, Eric Lopez. That's what I say.
Yeah, that would help.
All right, Joel. Well, that's about it.
Good luck this week.
Good luck to all this week. It doesn't matter for me. Good luck to Steven and throwing money into your money hole.
Yeah.
Later.
Guys.